white, Jared Houston, yellow, Jones Russell, and blue, Louis Finnegan. So,
Wow. Incredible.
you know what? Honestly, I love all these guys, but I don't even know Louis that well, but I'm rooting for him just because he's got a nice little hero's tale going on right now.
You know what? It's just he's so young. He's out there. He's got the go for it attitude, and he has nothing really to lose and everything to gain. So Louis
Yeah.
Finnegan, he's going to put everything on the line. But you can't forget about the two South Africans. These guys are on one too. Mark McCarthy, Jared Houston.
So the heat has started, and again with Louis, it's one of those things. I remember when I was young on doing the Super Tour, you're so nervous against all these like big names, but this guy's handled the pressure, and that in itself, being able to move through heats, especially from the trials, shows a lot of maturity. Because anyone can surf, but surfing within 30 minutes and under pressure is just something totally different.
All right, so we have two Australians, two South Africans in the first heat. We have some heavy conditions out there. Yes, you can see there's a little texture on the water, but the swell has arrived. There are some bombs that are coming in, and we're going to try to knock out this event today. So thank you for tuning in from all over the world. We appreciate it. We know it's really late for some of you. Canary Islands, we know it's really late. The European countries, we know it's really late too. And San Diego, East Coast, everybody watching from around the world, thank you guys for tuning in. Buenos dias.
What am I going to? Bon dia.
Bon dia. Bon noche.
Bon noite, yeah, that's true, yeah. 24-hour clock, actually. Yeah, it's going to be around 8 o'clock in New York and Brazil.
Ohio daimasu.
Yeah. How you doing in Jersey?
And bonjour, mon ami, for everybody who's watching from all our French-speaking territories around the world.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto, to our friends in Japan.
There you have it. Jet skis are lining up, coming around, getting into position into the channel, and the heat has started. These are 30-minute heats. Top two riders will advance on to the quarterfinals where they go man on man. So this is it. First wave of the day. Mark McCarthy dropping in.
Driving off the bottom, looking at this lip first.
Nice.
Big score of the day.
Oh.
Sticking, hitting a step. But you know what? In these conditions, it's going to set the bar definitely in pace for what is going on because it's very tricky out there. There's going to be steps in the waves. There's going to be bumps. Guys that really know how to stay light on their rail and get straight to the lip are going to have a very good success rate today, is my assumption, Manny.
Yeah, I mean, it's the conditions are warranting. Yeah, sometimes there's that big barrel pocket that you can find. Those are going to be very rare. And it looks like the guys are going to be looking for that end bowl section for, the big flips like Mark McCarthy just did on his first run.
We'll probably get a replay of that in just a second. But also something to note is that what Ryan speaks about a lot is between the north and south peaks. I think those south peaks that run into the channel are going to be like just pretty much no scores. They're just going to flatten straight out because that deep water and that chop's just going to ruin it for you. So the guys that actually know to surf this wave, like Ryan, Winchester's been out here a long time. Mitch Rollins spent years over in WA. They know even when it's not the best where to be because there's definitely an actual takeoff spot. It's just not anywhere. So.
Oh, look at that, just drainer, just sucking off the shallows right there. How shallow does it get out there in the shallowest part of this wave?
Shallow enough to take people's faces off, I'll tell you that much, because it's happened and it will happen again. So these guys,
we don't want it to happen.
No, but it's one of those things you got to be on your guard out there. And if you take off in the meat and potatoes of the wave, you have a high probability of going lobster diving out here. You really got to be behind it, or you have to scoop so hard because you're going to disengage your rail at one point out here.
We've been very fortunate that we did have some wipeouts. Nobody actually got really hurt, but we saw Damian Keem last year. He got a facial and just cut up his face, and it was very scary sight. I mean, it was really close to his eye socket. So very dangerous wave, dangerous conditions today for the rest of the competition. But you know what? These guys are up for it.
It's one of those things you pay to play, and that's just the way it goes, especially at the box. And I think it's one of the heaviest 4 to 5 foot waves you could possibly take on. So definitely going to be interesting. You see a little Mr. Lippy at the end there closing out that end bowl.
Mr. Lippy.
Mr. Lippy. That I did not phrase that one. That's a local thing. So don't worry. That's not a cheesy little Bitzer quote or anything. That is actually Mr. Lippy that you're looking at. Yep.
All right. Little slow start to the morning, but once again, thank you all for tuning in. Out in the water, currently sitting and waiting in the red jersey, Mark McCarthy. In white, Jared Houston. In yellow, Jones Russell. And in blue, Louis Finnegan. These are 30-minute heats. Top two waves will be scored. Top two riders will advance on to the next heat, which will be the quarterfinals. Look at Ryan Hardy. He will be in heat
Look at the
number
camera,
4
Ryan.
today.
Look at the camera button. Going to one.
Here we go. Live action.
So out the back right there in white, Jared Housen from South Africa, backing up his good friend Mark McCarthy with a similar flip there. His Boaty, if I'm saying it right.
Well, I know you're saying you're Jared Houston.
Yeah, I know. It's Houston, not Housen. I don't know why I do that. I've
Why
known
do
him
you
for
do
5
that?
years. I don't know. I really don't. It's like one of those things. I say coffee and I say water. It's just something, probably my jersey try to sneak out of me.
Here's
So
another look on the reflex replay of Jared Houston's wave.
Jared driving off the bottom, looking straight to the lip. Very smart there, not wasting any time. Flipping,
Nice.
landing right in that little dead spot, very hard. And you see again the lip trying to take him. Very similar wave to Mark McCarthy. Mark's is kind of going to be the bar to the standard, so we'll see what they judge it against Mark's wave. But I think Mark's, if you're going to put the side by side, might have been a slightly bit bigger. But since it was the first score, he got a 4.88 on that first score. We're going to have to see what Jared.
Look at this! Look at
gets.
this! Oh, finding a nice barrel right there. Yes, the rider in yellow. That is Jones Russell. There he goes.
Jonesy.
That is probably going to be the highest scoring wave of the heat thus far. Finding a big old heavy keg out the back, comes out and finds room for another maneuver. So Jones Russell, that is going to be setting the bar right there, and all the competitors in the competitors area are watching intently on these first few heats.
Yeah, Kingy's probably rousing him back at home already to watch it on the webcast, going, "Come on, Jonesy." But yeah, Jonesy, a sick barrel for especially the conditions. Definitely gonna show commitment. We got the replay right here, taking it straight down, points the nose down, handles the little step, sets his rail. Nice little scooper, not super deep, but again, look what he was running into at the end there. He did well with it. Finds a roll, so definitely combo land, and little reversals on the double up on the inside. So milking that wave, I definitely think just because he got a roll off too, I would say in these conditions it's going to be a 6.65, maybe a little bit bigger. But I say they're not going to go too much bigger than that area right in there, just because they don't want to push themselves into a box, so to say, and give them some room for some other scores. So Jared Houston, 6.25. He bettered Mark. He ousted his South African brethren right there. So what was your take on that last wave from Jonesy?
Yeah, we're still waiting for his score. You don't see it on your live screen right there. Jones Russell's last wave has yet to come down the pipeline. But, yeah, solid wave, and that's what these riders have to do. Louis Finnegan's the 17-year-old Wondergrom from the area, finds a nice little section. What's he going to do?
Ramp.
Comes through the lip, goes for a roll, but the wave wasn't cooperating, so the wave just rolled underneath him, and just pretty much that was the end of the road for
Did you see it kind of went
Louis
below
Finnegan.
sea level there? It kind of like it disappeared on the screen. The thing sucked so below sea level you couldn't see what he was going to do.
All right,
So
so
again,
Louis Finnegan, the 17-year-old Wondergrom. Here's another look at the reflex replay. Take another look. Bitzer, give it to us.
So Louis looking at the section already, but it kind of goes below sea level there. Kind of harder to get to the lip than normally. And Louis doing great, but not a great start on that one. Doing great in this contest, but definitely has a good run so far. So Louis is he from north of Perth, is that right? Or is Louis from the East Coast? I always get him and Drew mixed up. I think he's from north of Perth.
Yeah, he's from the west coast of Australia, and I saw his parents the other morning. And the one question I like to ask
Nice
the
people.
parents is he having fun? And they pretty much just said he's having the best fun in the world right now.
Yeah.
So Louis Finnegan, he is amping, super grom.
Yeah.
He's out there battling it out with some of the top riders on the tour, Mark McCarthy and Jared Houston, and Jones Russell. He's also someone
A lot of young guns.
with.
Yeah, how could you not have fun? You'd be fun if you're in your nationals, quarterfinals, last round of the day. He's in a Box Pro event. Come on, this is crazy.
All right, Jones Russell, taking a look at this one. What can he line up right here? Not much of a barrel, but
Boom.
a big invert. Big boost out into the flats, lands it, and completed ride right there. Massive amount of ground covered on that huge invert right there from Jones Russell.
Yeah, I think he was very smart to boycott the barrel on that one and just drive straight to the lip. We got a replay. So Jonesy eyeing it up, looking to see if he should stall. He says, no, I'm going to gun it. Waits for the bottom to drop out and then starts angling towards the lip. Clean projection. Nice tweak. Good style. Lands cleanly. Definitely going to be a make right there, and then just goes for the extra little ride out just to make sure those judges on the beach see it. So, you know what? Honestly, I think that's the highest score for sure of this heat, in my opinion, just because it was so well textbook, style, projection, clean to the lip. It's definitely going to be one of the better scores, I think.
Well, he's got two solid rides that have yet to be scored to come down onto your screen right there. So Jones Russell, don't count him out of just jumping into first place after those two epic rides.
Yeah.
Jones Russell, Australian, 23-year-olds. He's
From
young too.
From Port Macquarie.
He's hungry. He's out there putting everything on the line as well. Jones Russell, he sees no fear, and I'm very surprised that.
Oh,
You know what? I'm not surprised. He's killing it. Check this out in red, dropping in. Mark
look at
McCarthy.
this. Mark McCarthy getting a little in
Big
and out.
section, big roll right
Nice
there. Unbelievable.
That was very clean. Definitely looking for a good backup score. So he had what was that, a 4.88 on his first. He still could get into second place with this one, a replay driving off the bottom. Looking at the lip straight off the bottom. That's what you're supposed to be doing in these conditions.
Perfect.
Big arcing roll. Doesn't go for the flip, and I think he was smart because I think he might have got caught by that little backlash and that little dump into the channel right there. So that's probably a good idea, a good strategy.
Mark McCarthy coming out with a big roll on his second wave right there. So everybody has at least one wave on their scorecard. Now it's a matter of catching that second solid wave. Top 2 waves will be scored in these 30-minute round number 4 four-man heats. And here we are still waiting for those scores to drop from Jones Russell. And Louis Finnegan as well. So the scores that you see on your scorecard, stand by. They could be changing in an instant right in front of your eyes. 19 minutes remaining. Jacob Romero, he's going to be coming up in heat number 4 against Ryan Hardy, Andrew Lester, and Alex Udonga. So I wonder what kind of music he's listening to right now to get amped and pumped.
He's listening to a Skrillex remix of Lil Wayne, guaranteed. Some dubstep. Just kidding.
Are you sure? I thought
No.
I saw Wham on his list.
So cab, Jacob. Just mess with you.
So Jacob Romero, we know all of Hawaii, and in particular Maui will be watching the Maui boy coming up in round number 4 against some heavy hitters, and the new guy on the block, Alex Udonga. So coming up next will be heat number 2, Winnie, Novi, Dallas, and Chad, but currently in the water, heat number 1.
Heat number 1, and there's been some action. We weren't sure. It was kind of hard to tell what the conditions were doing. It went from onshore to offshore to offshore to onshore. If it can do that, I'm not sure. But we had 2 rain squalls this morning. If you saw that clip just before the pullback, the box looks angry right now, which is a good thing because we want to see some battles out there. This is a heavyweight fight, and it's good to have this type of atmosphere for the final day, in my opinion.
Well, this is the first heat of the day, and we've already seen some incredible riding from all the riders so far. So this is just a start. A lot of the guys are waiting and they're anxious to get out there.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Winchester, Michael Novi, Dallas Singer, Chad Jackson, they're coming up next. That's going to be an exciting heat. All these heats from this point on could be a final.
Yeah, I agree. I'm actually really excited to watch today. I think I could sit here with you all day just watching the screen and checking it out. So back out there in yellow, look at that. Those south ones I was saying going to get hard to get around. He might have been able to get a score off that one if he was on the shoulder more. That one actually opened up more than I thought it would. But, that south peak I think is just going to be the danger zone for today.
We do have a 4-man priority system in place. Jared Houston in the white jersey coming around the section. Finds a nice little pocket right there and comes out with a big flip right there. Pulls it flawlessly. Jared Houston, solid wave right there for his second wave of the heat.
Houston, we don't have a problem. That was pretty sick. Jerry coming off the bottom here, getting around the section. He did well. This wasn't a great wave, but he made it a great wave, and that's what a good bodyboarder, a great bodyboarder does. Hits the chop and still, boom, bangs that clean flip out. Definitely going to be a backup score for him. Pretty amazing stuff there from Jared Houston, not Houston.
All right, Freedom Fins. This is the Freedom Round, the Go Big Round. We are putting down but Freedom Fins are throwing down some serious cash for this heat. Whoever can go big in these conditions in this round are going to walk with an extra $1,000. Louis Finnegan in blue coming around the section.
Louis Finnegan driving off the bottom here, looking at the lip, trying to get on the board. Big Rolo. Good job to get a first score there from Louis. What did you think of that one, Manny?
Well, that was another wave for Louis on his scorecard. We're looking at the scores right now, trying to wait for all the scores to drop. Once again, welcome everybody. This is the 2012 IBA Box Pro brought to you by Reflex Wetsuits. And here's a Reflex replay of Louis Finnegan.
Louis looking to get on the board right here, driving off the bottom. He knows that there's not going to be much of a barrel and just goes straight to the lip. Little Hail Mary Rolo right there, stuck right in the flat. So he did good. Again, there's some chop on the water right now, and it's not the easiest thing in the world. As we see Dallas Singer pop up on screen, he's in the running for a GQ Man of the Year right there. Styling.
I don't think GQ. He's already hired by Calvin Klein. He has a modeling shoot in 2 weeks from now in the beautiful white sands of Bondi. So we're going to see Dallas Singer on the cover of Vogue for sure.
Yeah, or Mary Claire, one or the other.
Yes. All right, so Dallas is getting geared up. He's got his gear ready to go. He's going to be facing off against Dave Winchester, Michael Novi, and Chad Jackson.
Go get him, Dal. All right, so definitely another stacked heat coming up there. Magno Paseos Oliveira, great family man, kind of backing up his result from last year. Last year he missed his first heat and then made it all the way to the finals against Ryan Hardy, the local boy. That is amazing. Just even getting out of your second heat with all that pressure is just a task in itself.
All right, waiting patiently for his heat. Round number 4, heat number 1 in the water coming up next. Round number 2, and Dallas Singer in the yellow jersey. He'll be coming up, getting ready for that. Trying to get the cameraman.
The camera loves him right now, yeah?
But currently
you can
out
hit
of
him,
the
Dal.
water, 14 minutes, 46 seconds remaining, and we are looking at what the scores. We're still waiting for a couple scores to drop from Jared Houston and Louis Finnegan, but here is where we are currently.
So where we're at right now, in 4th place, Mark McCarthy with a good 4.88 to start, but needing a backup score. He needs a 7.13 to move out of his position. Louis Finnegan, great score on that Rolo, but his backup score is a 1.88. He'll need an 8.36 to move out of his current 3rd place position. Jared Houston, 7.03 and a 6.25, needing an 8.28 to move into 1st. And Jones Russell with a solid little buffer zone there, combined score 15.31. He's leading by 2.03 right now. So the math is in his favor, but there is a narrow margin. Plenty of time left. We are at the just above or just under the 14-minute mark.
All right, 2 riders will advance on. Look at this out the back. Jones Russell in the yellow jersey, sliding under the pocket, starting to close out on him, punches through the lip. Nice roll right there. That's all he pretty much could do in that situation. The wave was ready to close out on him, and Jones taking a look at the lip and pulls off a roll at the very end of that wave. So, again, conditions. The riders have to adapt to what is given to them out there. And, again, they can find those deep barrels. Let's take another look at the reflex replay.
So Jones, I think, using his priority to keep the other guys off this wave. I don't think he's going to better his last score of 7.13. But if he was a betting man, he was probably thinking, you know what, this could be a score for them to move up against me. I should take it out of the elements and just, keep them off the waves.
Well, Bitzer, you're a competitor. You understand all the rules and regulations. Give everybody, the viewers watching from around the world, the priority system. Right now we have a 4-man priority system in place. Give us a lowdown.
Well, I'll correct you on that. I'm not a competitor. I'm a coach because I help Beta. I don't do too well in comps, but I know them very well.
I stand corrected.
Now, real quickly out the back here. Jared Houston. Looking at this bowl, driving around. Can
nice
he get to the lip?
Right there. Almost loses
Did you
his
see that?
rail.
He lifted his nose at the end to kind of fake a cutty, just so the judges probably wouldn't have saw that from that distance. That he could have had a little barble there, or whatever you call it. But Jared Houston doing well with that barrel. I know he wanted to hit it, but he just couldn't get around that chop.
The reflex replay will tell us what exactly happened. As you can see, he lined up this inside bully section.
He was eyeing that section. Oh.
And that's where he loses his rail and his feet come disengaged from the water, and he's just holding on. That little cut right there was just to maintain his balance.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
He disengaged the simulator right now.
There from Jared Houston.
The funniest thing is, and it's sad, but even if Mike gets caught by this wave, did you see that? He had almost a 10 barrel. He was out of the water, best bodyboarder, best body surfer there possibly could be, and he got clipped the other day. Jared, not one to not fall victim of this as well. So Jared definitely got a little bit of Mr. Lippy to the face on that one.
So back to the priority system.
Okay, so the priority system, basically, still, as we like to call it, rock, paper, scissors, junk and a Poe, or battle your friend for the first wave. But after that, it goes into rotation. So say yellow cuts the first wave, white catches the second, blue, and then red in sequential order. It basically, what will happen from there is that will stay in the form of priority. So, that just comes into a probability factor. And we got some nice, lovely ladies over there on the screen, as you can see.
The girlfriends, the wives. And how did she get a cup of coffee? And we don't have coffee here. So somebody grab that coffee from her and bring it into this commentator's booth ASAP.
2 sugars and a cream, miss, if you could.
Well, they do have one of the best seats in the house, but I got to tell you, the channel at the box is the best seat in the house. We have our infamous water photographer out there with that white pipe in his backpack. Inside of that is the HD transmitter sending the water feed, the Slicks and Decks water feed. Chris White on the helm of that jet ski, and Seamus Makem bringing us the water angle from the channel here at the box. And in the green jersey, I believe that is the IBA World Tour photographer, Sasha Specker.
It is the specs. He looks like he's got a hood on. He's making it happen. He's a little cold out there. Whitey, this morning, we got a call from him. He was giving Ryan a shout saying there was so much seaweed at the launch ramp that it was almost impassable. And that ramp is very hard to negate anyway. He was telling
they
me.
went for it.
Yeah, what he was telling me is that the guys down here actually have to build their trailers for that exact launch ramp, because if you want to surf the bommies or surf the big outer reefs, you got to use that entranceway in the channel. But it's got such a hook on it, and there's so much seaweed when the swell comes up, like it's not there every day. So when he got there, he was like, he had a job before he started his job just to get the ski out there. So good job.
So we almost
didn't
didn't
put
have
a hole in there.
We almost didn't have them.
Nah, Whitey knows what he's doing. He would have made it happen, but there's just a little bit of jury rigging going on, and this, that, and the other thing to get it out there.
Look at this, out the back. Mark McCarthy in a deep one, and he comes out. Yes, he comes out. He is pumped on that, and he was way deep. That was almost like an instant replay of what he did in his early heats yesterday or the day before. Incredible deep barrel from Mark McCarthy and his South African buddy Sasha getting everything on film.
So look at this, coming off the bottom, driving, stalling. See that little rail flick there? He knew that he had it. He sees Mr. Lippy and he straightens out just in time, because if he tried to go high right there, he would have ran into that. Very well negated.
Sasha almost getting taken out on the shoulder right there.
And straight to a cockroach smash claim. That was nice. I like that. Good work. He said, I'm done. So he was currently in 4th place. That is definitely going to help his campaign. He needed an 8.4. I'm not going to put it out there that he grabbed that, but Mark definitely bettering his campaign, building a little house, as my good friend Tez McKenna likes to say. You got to put the foundation first before you build a house, and he's doing that right now.
Mark McCarthy comes to us from South Africa, Richards Bay, South Africa, and he's also known as Boaty. But Louis Finnegan, up and riding, finds the inside section. Oh, can he pull it around? Lands back into the barrel, but cannot end that wave successfully.
See, that is a mirror image of what Jacob did the other day, and the judges gave it a actual land. So we'll see. It's kind of a hard whatchamacallit angle to look today. So I'm going to say that could or could not be a land. I'm not going to give it 100%, but it definitely, in my opinion, that was a very solid wave. We'll see what the judges thought of it. So it definitely could move Louis out of his 3rd place. It could be a whole change right now. Louis could have moved into 2nd, and Mark could have moved into 1st. We will see.
Unbelievable. Still, nonstop action out the back. Jones Russell, nice little pocket. Big flip right there. Oh, and he pulls it around in the barrel, but
he
just
almost landed that. You saw the orange
my.
slick pop up for a second there. I thought he was going to. If he would have landed that, I honestly think it would have been 9s.
Big money, big points. Look at this. Nice angle, and we pull it back in. Jared Houston finding the pocket. And he hits a nice roll right there at the end section in the white jersey. Yes, Jared Houston. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, live insane action coming to you from the box, Western Australia, Margaret River, for the 2012
You think
Box
we made the right
Pro.
call? I think
the call
we did.
has been made to run the event today, and yes, good call from the organizers and the riders.
Check out Mark right here, sniffing on this one, but no takers. Honestly, to get box 3 days within a 4-day period, that's about as good as we did at Pipe. Honestly, like we basically had the best event in bodyboarding history, followed up to probably the best event at box in history. So
the reflex replay, taking a look at Jared Houston's pocket ride, more of a barrel. He was in there, tucked in there, comes out right before it hits Mr. Lippy on the end section, but takes full advantage, gets a roll right in there.
In Hawaii, we call those either a head dip or kind of an in and out. It's not quite. So I don't think it's going to be one of his bigger scores. We got Mark, our current guy on the flow right here, doing well, driving. Another pit. Can he look for this section? He looks for the double up, combos it up. You know what? That could be his backup score. I think that first pit and that is definitely going to move him up in the ranks. So we got to wait for the scores to drop, but there's going to be some movement in the leaderboard going on right here in this heat.
Well, Jones Russell right now, he's sitting on a pretty solid 7.13 and 8.18. Again, top 2 scores will be taken, and the sum of those 2 scores will give you your total points. Jones Russell looking good. Jared Houston, he has a 6.25 and a 7.0, and there's another look of the competitors there. Everybody's keeping their eyes on those instant replays. And you know,
see the Shaggy show cruising over there doing some work, getting ready.
Twittering and Facebooking updates. Social Maniac.
Social Maniac. I don't think you want to say that on live on air. Social media maniac.
Well, Shaggy and Andrew Lester, he's coming up next. He's got a little facial shot right there. But Shaggy, if you haven't been keeping up with the Shaggy Show, he also has his weekly Shaggy Show on the IBA YouTube channel. So IBA, or actually YouTube.com /.
I think I made the
IBA
cut
World
yesterday.
Tour. Look
I
for
made the Shaggy Show cut
on the playlists.
Yeah, I woke up. Well, I didn't wake up. I was trying to take a nap yesterday. And he goes, hey, check this out. A blue tongue made its way into the apartment. I don't know what a blue tongue is. Sorry. I have no clue. I look, and there's a 1.5-foot lizard that crawled in our open door. And my first thing is err on the side of caution, risk management, being a lifeguard, thinking this thing is poisonous. And he goes, okay, let's capture it. So he gives me the camera. The thing runs under the refrigerator. And instead of running out the door, the thing charges me, and I scream like a little girl, and that should end up on the Shaggy Show. So stand by for that. It's pretty funny.
But you scream like a girl a lot.
I do. I know. It's a habit of mine. Yeah. Only when I'm around you, though, Manny. You freak me out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's your current leaderboard, or actually the scores. Currently 4 minutes, 45 seconds remaining. Jones Russell still in a commanding lead with that 8.18 ride he got, and a 7.13. Jared Houston, hot on his heels. He only needs that 8.28. I shouldn't say only, but for that first place spot. Again, only the top two riders advance to the quarterfinals. Louis Finnegan, he is in search of a 6.81. Definitely doable.
Well, this is going to change. Those scores still didn't drop for Mark's top two scores. He's still, the jury's out, and it's going to be coming in soon. I think, honestly, when the decision comes in, he's going to be the winner of this case. He's going to be on top of the game, at least in second place. Those are two solid barrels, and he had a barrel to roll. So definitely, in my opinion, they will be top scorers for this heat so far. So we're winding down on time. But still, that was a lot of action for the first heat. That was actually the most action we've had so far, even though the conditions aren't as prime. That was definitely.
It's not stopping yet. Look at Jared Houston way deep. Oh, no! For this big section. I thought he was going to pull in, but just went for the big maneuver right there before it all shut down on him.
That was almost an 8-foot takeoff roll.
That was
he was
heavy.
Like, he barely got to the bottom. He just went straight up and punted
Shaggy's loving it.
Yeah.
His fellow South African cheering on his, his rider, Jared Houston, out in the water.
We'll get a replay of that in just a second. I know the judges well and who's up there, and they're going to love that commitment. It wasn't a flawless wave, but he seriously put his head down, put his bum up, and did it.
The reflex replay, let's take another look. He doesn't go all the way to the bottom.
But he hooks it.
Face turn and goes straight for the lip. And almost reminiscent of that big hit that he tried to do in Porto Escondido last year.
Yep, it was.
He got annihilated,
but here
he takes command on that big move right there, Jared Houston.
Wow, I'm impressed by that, because the thing is, everything's off the bottom turn, the criteria. So he was smart enough just not to go straight up and just look like a flop out. He actually went mid-face, drove off what was the best he could do of the bottom, got to the lip, and just hucked his body, just threw his core out there to the flats and stuck it. That's a lot of commitment. That's bodyboarding right there. That's insane.
Bodyboarding. Welcome once again. This is bodyboarding, the 2012 IBA Box Pro, brought to you by Reflex Wetsuits, Freedom Fins, Bodyboard King, Slicks and Decks, Riptide, and our media partners, YouTube and IINet. Here we go. 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining out in the water. Look at that. Unbelievable. Coming down to the wire. The scores are still coming down.
So we got Jared Houston's profile right here. I always say house. Nice. I'm sorry about that. The man, the myth, the legend, also boyfriend Natasha Sangredia. They are a great bodyboarding couple. They help each other out, and this guy is a killer in the water. And one of the most friendly guys you could ever meet. Seriously.
Yeah,
very, very nice person.
Very approachable.
Yeah.
And Glenn Thurston jumping off of the jet ski there. He probably has his 13-foot GoPro pole cam.
I thought you were going to say he's 13 foot tall, because he does look
He's
at
huge, too.
He's huge.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, on the risk of being knocked out, Louis Finnegan in the blue jersey on the search for an 8.83.
Sniffing right here,
and
Louis
look at
Finnegan.
This. Will this be it? Jason, take us through it.
I don't know about an 8.83, but it is a good wave. Kenny blasts this one, goes for the big flip. No, it's just the rail. I'm telling you, that end bowl, that little south little sneaker. Oh, out the back again. Look at this yellow. Jones Russell looking to punt this one.
Oh,
another big invert.
Big invert comes out
lands in the trough. You know, that wave was bigger. That first invert, in my opinion, was cleaner and a little bit more lofty, but that was a bigger wave, and throws the fist up.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Jones.
He's practicing for his trip to New Jersey. He's fist pumping, he told me. He said he's getting ready. He said he needs to get the traps and the tries ready for it. So he'll be claiming a lot.
The reflex replay, taking a look at Louis Finnegan's wave. Not much there forming up for him. So he sees a section, goes for the big flip, but lands in a very critical part of the wave, and there's just too much turbulence there for him to pull it around. And then out the back, it was Jones Russell.
Jones-Russell really driving hard off the bottom of that one. That was hard to find that section. Actually,
look at that landing, perfect.
You know what? That replay from where the judges are, I think that's going to be a pretty big score for him. Because when I first looked at it, I didn't see the technique. He drove like he was coming off the bottom, and then he did another hook to get to the lip, or else he would have passed it. So just that little flick and that little skill level right there is definitely going to be something that all the judges are going to look for. We've got such a talented pool of judges. They all bodyboard. You know, we got Ben Severson, we got Danny, we got Chico. They all surf. You know, these guys are just next level judges. So they're really critical about your technique. So it's not style, it's technique, as we like to call it. So.
We are still waiting for a few scores to come down the pipeline, but as you can see, Mark McCarthy did take the lead, and now he's sitting in priority. I think he may have lost the priority on that, but we will get back to the priority. Just waiting for those last scores. Jones-Russell now in second, but that last air score did not come down yet. Jared Houston and Louis Finnegan, they're on the verge of getting knocked out of the event. Only 2 riders advancing to the quarterfinals.
Indeed, and we're going to be winding down here. I think this heat is almost put to bed. And we'll get official scores. But you know what? Jonesy, I think, is going to hold his position. I don't know, man. That big roll, let's see what happens with it. So it's Jared still, the jury's still out. Mark still 913, 753. Things could still change when these scores drop because it is intense. That was a big